Hello, viewers, and welcome to my stream. Today, I'll be talking about permissions on Windows Server 2012 R2. I'm going to be talking about what what is the permissions on Windows Server 2012 R2 and what you can do with it. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen right now. If you notice, there are some lines around the screen. I am sorry about that, but I have not found a solution to solve that, so please bear with me for the time being. So basically, permissions is a feature. Is it? Yeah, so permissions, wait, is it a feature? Yes, it is. So permission is a feature which controls what privileges a specific user or a group of users has or have. Basically, it means that it is a way to configure what a user or group of users can do whenever it comes to accessing a folder. Sorry. So the reasons why people want permission is so that you do not is so that people who you do not want them to access the folder, like there may be some very sensitive or private information in the folder, like contents, data, maybe your personal credentials, your information address on where you're going to live in. You do not want people to know that. So permissions allow you to control who is able to see and modify the things, the contents that are in the folder. So first of all, let's go through the many different options that you will have. That you will have when you are doing your share. So I have created, or you know what? Let's just delete this first. As a demonstration, I'm going to create a new folder called share to make it easier to understand. So this is my desired folder. In order to share something, you have to click on the desired folder, then click on properties. Over here, you can see two tabs, which is sharing and security. At sharing, you notice that there is a box over here. I think it will be simpler if I make this window instead of full screen so that I can see the notepad at the same time. Oh, sorry about that. So over here, right, you can, as I have said before, you can click on the desired folder, go to properties, and then at the sharing tab. Here you will see two categories. The first one is network file and folder sharing, which is the one that my cursor is floating around right now. Over here, you can see the icon, which is the folder, what you want to share, and it will say that it is currently not shared. It's because you literally haven't shared it anymore. Because this is a brand new folder, I have never done anything to it, and yeah, it has not been shared. Even the network path said not shared. So so I'm going to go into deeper detail right after I have talked about these two categories. The second method is advanced sharing. Basically, advanced sharing is very similar to network file and folder sharing, but it gives you more specific options. It gives you a bigger variety of options to play with. Because for this part, it's just a demonstration, so we're just gonna play with it for now. Over here, right, when you click on share, you can choose the people slash users that you want. By default, the administrator or administrators. Administrators is the owner of this one, of course. And you can also pick everyone, which is technically giving every user that is in the current network or on the current PC. In this case, I'm using a virtual machine, but we can call it a PC anyway. That can access the folder. You can also create OUs, which stands for organizational units, in Active Directory users and computers, whereby you can create a group in any specific folder that you want to. And you can also, I should have shown an example for this. You know what? I'll show it now. So in my DC1 server manager and then tools, over here I have Active Directory users and computers. You will be able to, for my class, I have been doing ite.cw, but for this case, it will be a demonstration, so I will not be messing with any of my previously done work. Over here, we have folders such as computers, branch built-in, and many other things. Over here, users, right? You can basically create a new user or a group or whatever you want. After you have created a user, for example, let's go with test. And you can basically create a user, probably ASD. You can have well then. Okay, basically, I'm just gonna make the long story short because the whole point of this is to learn about permissions and not to learn about how to create users. So, just to get to the point, over here you can create a new user, and after creating a new user, you can also create a new group, and in that group, you are able to security group. Okay, let's take this as an example. In a group, you're able to add the members tab. You're able to click add. You can search up any user that you want. For example, administrator, and click OK and you can add it in. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that because this will mess up my system. So I'm gonna click cancel just to double check. Okay, good, it's fine there. So once you have done that, you are able to now find people. Over here, you can find groups. For example, if you don't know like the name of the, I need to sign in for this part. If you don't know like, if you don't want to type in the specific name, over here you can go to advanced and you can click on find now to see every user that is currently connected into the specific network. And once you have found them, you can click add, which is, I'm sorry, give me a moment. You can click find now. You pick the person that you want and click OK. And then over here, it should automatically present to you the current name that the computer has for him. And you can click OK to put it in. So once you have done that, you can click share. Then it will finish sharing the thing. So just to double confirm, I will add contents into this folder. ASDF, because it doesn't really matter. And if you go on to DC1, you have to make sure that your domain is already, you are already connected to the domain. For my case, it is ite.local. Make sure you're connected to that domain. If you are not, you will have to go onto server manager, local server, and click onto the work group. Mine is currently ite.local. You have to click onto the work group and it will give you this thing. Click on change. This only happens if you already have connected to the domain, but for some reason you cannot enter. Leave the domain by clicking on workgroup and create a random workgroup. Restart your computer, click onto domain, and enter ite.local. At this part, they will prompt you for your credentials, and if you type it in, you will be able to join the domain, and hopefully it will work for you again. So over here, you can either go to network. For some reason, it isn't showing, but I will go straight to this part, and now you can see the shared folder. Over here, as you can see, this is the legitimate folder. I can do anything I want. I can create a folder. Yes, and I can also delete a folder because I have the permission to. So over, just in case of conflict. So over here, that now that I've done that, we can move on to advanced sharing. So advanced sharing is very similar to file and folder sharing, but it provides more options, and by that I mean this. So over here is the folder that you will be sharing, the name of the folder. You have to share this folder first in order for all of this to work. And you can also add more things to share if you want to. New share? Yeah. So there is this one thing. So there are a few buttons here, permissions and caching. So at caching, basically caching allows you to share your folders offline. I am not very sure as to how it works as I have not studied into that topic so much. But I have went to permissions, and over here basically, as you can see, in the network file and folder sharing, you can only click on read or read and write, which means to be able to see the contents of the folder and also to create a new, so to modify what is inside there. You can also create, you can also delete. Over here is pretty much the same thing. This is what I say is similar to the first option. You can also, you click full control, it will help you to automatically do everything, like take everything, because technically that is full control. You can change and read, but in a way, right, the reason why I say that this is very similar to the first one is because you, in permissions, you can do, like, this is basically read and write. Change is basically another word for write, just that you can modify the contents of the folder further. And the only difference that advanced sharing has with network file and folder sharing is that you can do the caching, which is basically offline sharing, but it doesn't really impact you that unless you are someone who will need caching, then this will be very helpful for you. But for the time being, I have seen nothing that is important. Nothing that I will need to use in the near future unless I have any upcoming projects. So now that we are done with sharing, we'll go on ahead and go to the second tab, which is the security tab. This one, in this security tab, they basically show you object name, the groups or users that are currently being able to access the specific folder, and also the permissions for that user. At the I'm sorry, at the object name, basically it tells you the thing that you are currently sharing, the directory of which you are sharing the folder. But this directory is based off the, okay, this directory is based off this specific PC, this specific VM. So it will not say // srv1 /share, because this is technically based on the srv1. So it's based on this specific VM. So they need not to put // srv1. They just put c double colon, and yeah, nothing much, nothing important about that. So over group or users, you are able to see, yeah, this is, oh, okay, I presume nothing. Yeah, nothing has happened. That's good. Or users has disappeared. Well, actually, I didn't remove anybody. It just magically disappeared. Anyway, this is a demonstration. So everything here will, nothing that I will do will corrupt my system. So I'm okay with that. So as you can see on the notepad, there's this edit button like over here. And you can go onto the edit button, which is right below the thing to add, remove users, groups, and also to change the privileges onto the what is this thing called, on the specific folder that you're sharing. So if you click on this, as you can see, it's pretty much the same window as this whole thing, right? But only you can edit the stuff, the permissions over here. So it's like basically it's the same thing, but it's, so yeah, that's pretty much how it works out. So over here, right, you can add users and groups. Same procedure as in the sharing tab, the regular sharing. You can advance find now. You will always have to need to type in this. I typed in it wrongly. Okay, so now that you can find now and all the same processes as before in the sharing tab. So yeah, but however, over here, as you can see, this is much more advanced. This has a much bigger variety of options or slash permissions that you can select for uh, the specific user. So over here, right, there is full control. Obviously, you already know this. I have explained it before, but I will say it again. It basically takes everything because it selects every single permission. Over here at modify, it allows you to change the name of the folder or the document or whatever you have in the current folder that you are currently sharing. Read and execute. This means that you're able to see the contents in the folder, and you're also able to run the programs that are in the folder. I presume that if you untick this, you will not be able to run the program or the executable that is inside the folder. List folder contents. This basically means that you can see everything in the folder. It's very foolproof. Read and write. This is also very foolproof. Everyone should know. Basically, you're able to see the contents inside too, and you're also write means that you are able to add in more data. If you want to remove people, you can also come here and remove. It's a lot more easier. Over here, advanced. This is where it gets a bit complicated. I'm not completely familiar myself, but I can show you a bit of how it works. So basically over here, right, you can click on add, edit, remove. This one, it allows you, it's a more advanced version. It allows you to do things, and the user interface is much more. I would say that the user interface of this security thing is on the same level as the one that you will receive here, but this is a little bit more user friendly in my opinion. So you can add the users as what you have already done, because you can also select users, blah blah blah, the same process. But if you notice here, you're able to create the allow, basically to allow or block the user or the group to enter or to see the access the folder. It applies to subfolders, all these things, basically folder, subfolders, folder inside folder, and files, everything. And also basic permissions. This you will all see. As you can see, full control, modify, read and execute, list folder contents, all of this you have been able to see over here. So basically, you're actually, regardless of where you go to, whether you want to change the permission of a user or a group, right? They will always give you exactly the same options. Like you will see here, all these options are the same. Never mind, it's okay. I just click cancel. It should be fine. All these options are the same, so you need not go all the way into like click freaking. I'm sorry. Click 3 or 4 buttons just to get into this window. You do not need to do that. All you have to do is to, you don't even need to go here. Okay, here sharing has very little options, to be honest. Sharing only have 2 options, to read or to write. So if you want it to be more specific, then you can go to security. Security is very specific, and in my opinion, from what I have seen, maybe in the future I might be able to find more options, but for now, security gives the most amount of options you can give. Auditing is basically a way to give yes, auditing is basically I am not very sure about auditing, as I have not really looked into that field. So I think for the auditing part, unfortunately, I will not be able to explain how it works. Neither have I looked into effective access. So I will not be talking about those two. And for the time being, I think that you guys might not be needing to utilize that such options that the Windows Server has provided with you, because we need not go that far. Over here, for everyone and administrators, of course, you have full control, because I made it to have full control. And yeah, pretty much everyone here has full control. So all in all, in conclusion, the whole point of permissions is to allow the user to be able to access. No, okay, I'm sorry about that. That was wrong. The whole purpose of permission is to be able to give privilege, to assign and configure the privileges that users and the groups will have when it comes to making when it comes to giving someone, like for example, as you can see, if I were to make sense of this, sharing is a very simple version of sharing the folder. Basically, this one only lets you read and write. It's very basic. However, if the folder has very important information, something that is private, something you do not want many people to see, something that is only can only be seen or known among a small group of people, security tab is the way to go. You can change administrators, everything. And this is very specific, and this is the most amount of options you'll be getting in order to do permission. So yeah, this is the best place to do. So I think that I have said everything that I currently have knowledge on in terms of permission. And so with that, thank you guys for sorry, let me stop sharing. Thank you guys for watching my stream. I hope that this will really help you if you want to do any sharing of folders, like, you know, basically any private information that you need not other people to know. Or if you are really lazy, right, that you don't want to use a USB drive to copy and paste from a computer to the other, you can just use your Wi-Fi to connect and share folder onto the same network, work group, domain, whatever you want. You can just connect them together, and then you are able to basically just throw the file here and there. It's actually faster if you do folder sharing in terms of, like, would you just want to share a folder from computer to computer. Using a USB drive is actually slower because you have the computer has to make copies into the USB drive and then put inside the other computer. However, if you want to do file sharing, connect it to the network and just copy and paste or drag and drop it into the folder that is being shared, and then it will immediately receive it because it's internet. Internet is way faster and it's very direct. So if you are transferring huge files from one computer to the other, I would recommend doing share folder. Uh, you know, maybe it's a small thing, or you do not want to go to such complicated ways. Just use a USB drive. It's a very simple and good way to go. So once again, thank you for watching my stream. I hope that this will help you a lot, and goodbye.